Hello, hello. I am back on YouTube yet again, and this time I'm playing around with a new concept. I'm gonna refer to my girl Erin on Demand. She has these videos that she calls PODVLOGs. So they're vlogs with a voiceover of a kind of podcast style. And I feel like as a certified yapper, this is something that might work well for me. And so I'm gonna give it a try. I don't think all of my videos will be like this, just because I want to stretch my creative capacity. But I think for just getting me started and getting me back on track with posting videos again, this was a good idea. So today, I wanted to talk to you all about the beauty of a regular ass life. And it is something that I have genuinely struggled with for quite a long time. I feel like I grew up as somebody who always looked forward, right? Like looked towards the future. I always had an ideal version of the life I wanted to live, and it was always ahead of me. It was never something that I was living, in the moment. And I know as a kid that that was really just a form of escape. When I was living through my childhood, I had quite a few rough patches. We'll just call them that. Quite a bit of difficult times. And my way of coping with that as a young child was to come up with these fantasies, these ideal representations of the life I couldn't wait to live once I escaped my current circumstance. And I realized that over time, I never stopped doing that. I actually kept doing that for quite a while. And it wasn't until maybe about a year ago that, I brought this up in therapy and just realized that that was really a form of maladaptive coping. We all do it, the daydreaming and whatnot. But now that my life looks different and feels different, doing that kind of daydreaming just didn't feel right anymore. It felt like I was always kind of chasing this, like, on a hamster wheel, never satisfied. What am I even looking towards type of thing. And I can say now that the life I have, I don't want to escape from. I really love this life. I have such a great and beautiful life, and it's quite regular. It's quite normal. It does not look like the fantasies and the idealism that I had in my mind when I was a child or even in my early 20s. And it kind of surprises me that I can be so happy and so fulfilled and have a boring ass life. My life is very boring, and I love that about it. I love how stable and grounded I always feel. And it's been interesting. But one of the things that I think really highlights this for me is when I'm on social media and I'm looking at the lives of others and seeing people travel and seeing people start businesses and graduate from school and whatever the case may be, right? Like everybody's posting their accomplishments online. And I realized a while back that part of that was watching other people's lives instead of living my own, right? And that was kind of another form of escapism, right? Just like going to YouTube and watching all of these people do shopping hauls and whatever the hell else they were doing, going on brand trips and all that stuff. And I thought, those things were so freaking cool. And I wasn't living my own life. I wasn't trying to find what was cool in my life. Like, this was, I can remember at a time when I was working as an attorney and I had enough money to go on vacation. I had enough money to go buy myself things and do things like that. But because I always kind of had this fantasy attached to my life, it never felt like it could be real. And that was a gap that I didn't even realize I was creating until, I'm in the life that I have and realizing I'm not even living my life. I'm not even doing the things I want to do, but I'm watching other people do what they want to do and either envying them or being excited for them or continuing to wish that I could do the same. And it was a aha moment when I realized, hey, if you just clicked back into your own reality, those things could be true for you too. It took me a while. It definitely took me a while. And it's hard to navigate, especially as I still have some parts of me that live in anticipation, right? And there's always something better. There can always be some life better than the life that you're living. And if you're constantly looking towards this, oh, I will be happy when I reach this, or when I get here, or when I accomplish this goal, you're never going to feel happy. It's sort of like that gap that I created with this like fantasy life versus my reality life. It's the same thing. It takes you out of the present moment. And for me, it really creates this sense of uneasiness, anxiety, this kind of like looming something, like something's not right. And when you really sit with that feeling, you come to realize that it's just your anticipation of some far away event that you're hoping will happen. And again, it's taking you out of your ability to just be calm and be present. And that's the biggest blessing of realizing that having this boring ass, normal ass, regular ass life and enjoying it, it's enjoyable because I feel more present. I feel calm. I feel at ease. I feel like I can actually experience life and the fullness of life. And I'm not always waiting on something else, or I'm not always imagining this idealized version of what life could be. And for me, I think that came from doing a lot of meditation and forcing my mind to slow down and realizing that my mind was always going 10 miles an hour, 10 miles a minute, whatever the fastest you can go in your mind, that's how fast I was going. And once I started doing meditation and really, really, I don't want to say forcing myself, but teaching myself to be calm and to be present with my thoughts and to kind of process one thought at a time, I started to realize that I was never in this moment. I was always either looking back with regret, with longing, or I was looking ahead with anticipation and uneasiness. And it really kind of set me up for failure. It set me up to miss out on so many really pivotal years of my life that now I try not to look back with much regret. But, if I had known then what I know now, right, I would have really lived that time to the fullest. Um, and that's what I'm trying to do now. That's what I'm trying to do with this regular, normal life that I have where I'm working, I'm balancing that with my free time, with my spending time with my community, and trying to envision what the best life is for me right now, right? And can I make that true right now? Instead of thinking that I have to kind of create this fantasy or, you know, make a new world, I can just make the world that I'm currently living enjoyable. And it's not that hard. That was a surprise. It's not that hard. And once you are more present and you realize what you've been doing, suddenly it becomes so much easier to be grateful for today. And that was what I was missing. I think that it's really important to be in touch with our lives. I don't think we realize just how fleeting life is. But as I'm getting older and realizing that when my parents said time flies, they really meant it, I'm checking in with that now. And I'm trying to make it a priority to really enjoy myself and to love where I am. So I don't know. If you're contemplating what your life looks like right now and you want it to be better, you want it to be more enjoyable, maybe take some time to step out of the fantasy and imagine what your life could really be if you just enjoyed it today. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this style. I loved doing this. This was great for me. But if you hated it, let me know. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.